Alright, so this is my new to me 1951 Ford F100. I picked this up for about $1,400, and we're going to see if we can make it maybe run and drive. I'm going to do a walk around video of it, show everything out. Yes, it is rusty, but it is cheap. It has no outside door handles, but as you can see, it's Fred Flintstoning it, but it's not too bad a shape. I mean, it's got some rust, but it's got a lot of original stuff on it. It's got an old 3 on the tree. From what I quickly looked at it, I noticed that it looks like it might be sitting on a maybe 50s model Chevy frame. Not exactly sure. As you can see, the spare wheel is God dang, rusted absolutely through. I ain't never seen that before. Frame's actually solid. I did notice when I pushed it off the trailer earlier, because I hauled it home, the spring mount decided it no longer wanted to be part of the truck. But I got this from an antique shop that had it sitting out in their front lot for, I believe they said he bought the property, and I believe he said it had been sitting for at least 14 years. And there's no telling how long it was sitting before he got it. See if I can get this hood to come up at all. I believe it's got, sadly, I believe it's got a 50s model Chevy engine in it. I may have to just go ahead and take this hood loose if I want to try and make it run, but first what I may try and do is see if it'll spin over by hand, get a pipe wrench on it. But it was cheap, the frame's not too bad, everything seems to work. I mean, well, for the most part. Obviously there's no floor, but steering and all that seems to work pretty good. The 3 on the tree here doesn't want to pull in at all or go forward, so probably needs a little more assistance with that. But it shifts up and down. Says it's got 47,000. My guess is it's probably got, we'll see. But it's really not too bad. I've seen worse. It's got mirror, windshield wiper. Looks like somebody's going to put a distributor cap on it. I do have that plate there, which is right there. But the ultimate goal for this thing, which I think, yeah, we still got, nope, all the glasses is busted except the front windshield, which is surprising. But I think the ultimate goal for this thing is one, junk this awful Chevy frame. Same with the junk Chevy motor that is in it. And end up putting it on something a little different. I've got a 1998 E350 frame. It's dually that I may cut down. It's got a V10, 684 V10, the early model of that. I'd like to do that, but we'll see. I've got other frames too. I've got Super Duty frames and with diesels and stuff like that. But diesels are pretty original, so maybe we'll see if I can. I'd really like to go with some type of V10. Make something different. But we're going to see if we can at least make this motor run and see if we can make it drive, because then we could either sell it to somebody or, who knows, maybe use it as a boat anchor, which is probably about what it's going to be used for. But you never know, somebody might use it. But I'm going to see if I can get some tools together, get a pipe wrench, stuff like that, lay on the ground, see if I can get the motor spin over. Not low. Well, as you can see, got a pipe wrench on the crank, and it just don't want to move. It's lifting the whole motor more than anything. So next step is probably pull the plugs and see if it'll maybe stick a borescope down there, look at them, and then maybe dump some tranny fluid and PB down in them. But we'll try that and get back to you. That's a 21 mil.
I don't get that training.
What you mean?
It's not working like a damn 3-speed would. But it's a manual transmission.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what I was saying before. I couldn't get it to pull in or nothing like that. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Oh, we have checked the oil too, and the oil is there. It's not milky or anything like that. The motor's not locked up from water in the oil. But plugs don't even look rusty. They don't even look that old. I brought the camera. I'll shove it down in there just to look at it beforehand. Shove her down in there and shoot. Looks good. There ain't even no pitting or nothing really in there. So I can get it on camera. See, the cylinder don't even look bad. It's the first cylinder. Guess I can PB it down and still take a look at it, but it's just number one so far. Let's pull the rest of them. And if anybody's wondering, that's just a little cheap camera from Amazon. Just to be able to look down on cylinders or whatever. I think you like their customized heater hose freaking holder upper. All these plugs look brand new. Oh, that one looks like it's got water on it. That one's definitely got water on it. That cylinder's probably not a good one. What I plan on at least doing with it, like to do with it. All the plugs. See, all the plugs look good. This one's a little different. I know this one is the one that's a little different. The rest of them all look the same. This one had water in it. It'll focus. It's got a little bit of water in it. But I'll get the camera and look down the rest of the cylinders.
This leaves me to believe I think it's something else.
Well, we'll check the rest of the cylinders.
The tree could be hung in gear and the clutch stuck.
Could be. I mean, these cylinders, they're not bad at all. No, there ain't no way. Oh, there's a bad cylinder. Oof. Jesus Christ, looks like somebody puked in it. It's got sand and rust and... You can see, if it'll focus, that one has got all types of something in it. Sand or rust or something. That's the one I was worried about. But, yeah, that one looks good. And that one looks good, yeah. If you see the rest of them, the rest of them look just like that. That one cylinder is the one that's hanging us up. So, which one is this? This one? Oof, yeah. Is that water that's in there? Oh, it is. We'll get that out of there. I'm going to go ahead and put all the plugs back in for now. Just hand tighten them. And because I'm going to have to blow that one cylinder out and then let it sit. Alright, finally built up some air pressure. Might be able to hear it, but we'll see what all blows out. Hopefully I don't get blown in the face with it. Oh yeah. Yep, she's full. There's really nothing to blow off of this turd other than mud daubers. But yeah, she was full. I'm gonna have to water's out of it. I might look at it again with the camera and see how bad it really is. I don't even know if I should training fluid it.
PP it.
Yeah, probably the best bet. Alright, I'll put it on there. Get down in there. Honestly, that's still not as bad as I'd expect. It still almost looks better than freaking her boat. Let's see. See, it ain't too hatefully bad. It's not good, but it's not bad.
Just got one cylinder.
Yeah. Well, we're going to fill it full of PB Blaster and let it sit for maybe a day. Come back out and see what it does. Who knows? Oop. There we go. That should be plenty. It ain't got no oil in it for some reason. I don't know what happened to it. But we're going to let it sit for probably about a day, come back to it, and probably add some oil to it too before I try and spin it over. But we'll see. Alright, so I'm back out here a day later on the truck. Gonna pull the number 4 plug back out. We let it sit overnight with PB Blaster in the cylinder. And we're gonna see if we can pull it out and maybe try and get her to spin over. Hopefully it'll budge, but we'll see. I've got a pipe that I can put on it with a pipe wrench, and if for some reason it still doesn't want to budge, then I may end up just putting it in gear. Sure. Just hoping none of this stuff is froze up really. I can't get that to spin. I might just end up cutting these belts. I don't know. We'll see if we can get it to spin. If not, I may just try and put it in a gear. And they just don't give you a good spot to get to these either. Oh, it's just not wanting to budge. If I have to, I will maybe try and put it into gear and rock it back and forth. But again, I just don't. Oh, Jesus. That dang grasshopper gave me a heart attack. I thought you were a spider. No, there's not really much room to get down in there. What I may try and do is put it in gear and maybe drag it forward, because I can't get it to spin over by hand. It's just not wanting to budge. Alright, we'll try that. Alright, so we've got it hooked up with the mule here, and what we're going to do is drop it down into gear, and hopefully it'll pull itself forward. I'm not sure. Maybe that's up as in gear, maybe first. But we're going to try and rock it back and forth. See what the old mule will do here. See if we can make sure we got differential lock, full wheel drive. And I'll set it up and see if we can get maybe the motor to spin a little bit, or see if it's going to drag it or what's going to happen. Alright, here we go. doesn't want to move for some reason. Obviously because the motor's locked up solid, but guess I can try and pull it backwards and see what happens. But I didn't see the wheels move at all, so I'll try and pull her backward and see what happens. Well, now we got her hooked up backward and see if she'll pull her. I'm trying to get the camera set up somewhere to be able to get a good video of it and see if I can pull her backward and see what it does. Little old mule here is putting in some work. It's able to drag the whole truck, but we'll see what happens. Alright, guess we'll see if it pulls her. Hopefully it pops up here. Well, as you can see, it's just not wanting to budge at all. I've dragged it forward and backward. I may keep going at it a little bit, see if I can free it up, but it's not wanting to budge. But I'll keep going back and forth at it and see what happens, see if I can get her to free up. Okay, so this is where we're at so far. I pulled the plug, I tried to move it back and forth, it didn't want to budge. I cut the belts off of it, and everything seems to spin free except for this pulley here. Not sure which one this one is. It's not the water pump, I would assume. But I've got everything off belts wise. They were shot anyways, but the next game plan is so I can get to the crank a little better, move the fan shroud, move the radiator, take all this off, and see if I can get better on the crank, get it to move over, because dragging it back and forth didn't work. It didn't break free, so that's the next plan of action. Alright, so unfortunately we tried everything we could. We jerked it back and forth and took the radiator out and fan shroud and stuff like that. Tried our best to work it back and forth and cut all the belts off, see if anything was froze, but nope. Tried so hard, probably not so hard, it actually broke the main crank pulley off. Not completely off, but broke it. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this motor is done for. I wasn't expecting a whole lot anyways, being that that one cylinder was just completely chock full of rust. But I'm still not 100% sure it was just that one cylinder. But at the same time, it just wasn't worth putting the time into. So what I did for the next, what me and my dad did for the next few hours or hour or two is we ended up stripping this thing down a little more. Obviously floor pans are shot, but we've basically got the cab to where it's pretty much ready to come off, other than the front clip needs to come off, and then it'll be ready. And I know people are probably looking at this floorboard and thinking, why even waste your time? Doesn't really matter. All that can be replaced, and it can be replaced relatively cheap. Just takes some time to weld it and stuff like that. Somebody definitely planned on this truck never being back on the road, but I'm going to see what I can do to make it get back on the road. But the tank was shot, which that's not a problem with whatever new frame I put underneath. It'll have a tank underneath the frame. But yeah, plan on pretty much just junking the frame or selling the frame, the engine tranny if anybody wants to buy it. But it'll probably end up being scrapped if nobody wants it. Seat will probably be thrown away because I'm sure nobody wants that. But I might put some stuff up for sale, but the cab and front clip are going to be used for a later on project. I'm really hoping I could at least get it running and driving, to at least see if it shifts and everything like that, and also see if it runs, to see if maybe somebody could use it for their old school classic that they want to actually restore. But this truck is not going to be a restore truck. This is going to be a pretty much slap on a new frame and make it more modernized, but the cheapest way possible. It's not going to get a bunch of fancy electronics or anything like that. It's just going to be maybe on a newer frame, newer engine, and pretty much leave the rust. Might patch some top holes to keep it from raining down on me, but I'll probably end up keeping it just like it is. But that'll do it for now. If anybody wants to keep on track on this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be hopefully coming out with more videos on other stuff, and possibly this truck with setting it down on another frame. But that should do it. I appreciate anybody stopping by and watching. Take care. Goodbye.